Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for coming. Could you talk about your night and if it began in any way that's different from any other night and made you feel as if something like this was possible?
You know, the emphasis for myself this past couple of weeks has just been to calm down, just kind of relax, and let the game kind of just come to me. So I think that's what I did.
Discussing the Spiders' defense, which is sort of overshadowed by a 36-point game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we got some really big stops down the stretch, and that was huge. And that's what we were preaching in the huddle. I mean, obviously the number was pretty high that I had tonight, but I mean, like overall, it just comes down to getting stops. We're always going to score the ball. We're always going to be able to run our offense and get easy looks, but it really comes down to how we dig in on the defensive end.
Thank
you. And if you knew it, you'd do it every night. But what's the key to taking this momentum, not just you, but as a team, and taking it forward now, because you play 3 games in 6 or 7 days after tonight?
Yeah, you know, it's not get too high on this win. It was a great win, big time win. Had a lot of contributions from everybody. But yeah, just kind of keep building upon this. We got a good one at Duquesne the other day, and we just built upon that. Now we came and did this one. Now it's time for Mason.
I could ask a question about next week. What are if there are any challenges of playing a team, twice within 48, 50 hours, advantages, disadvantages? I don't know that you've ever done that, maybe since back in AAU day.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. It's already hard to beat a team twice in one season, let alone, like you said, 3 days. But yeah, we're going to take it one game at a time. We're going to go the first game, make some adjustments, and then hopefully take the second game.
Do you think this team overall has turned a bit of a corner?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think we're on our way up, and we're going to show everybody the potential that they saw in us.
One, these Friday night games, we really wanted to have some. They've been doing it for a couple of years at home. We were scheduled to have a few last year because the Robins Center is such a great atmosphere and looks so great on TV. And so that was, I thought the crowd student section was terrific, big part of the game, just a huge home court advantage. Very pleased with the win. Tyler is obviously incredible. It's amazing that his ceiling is that high. You know what I mean? He was incredible. I thought Jacob and Grant, I thought Andre Gustafson's defense was tremendous. And I thought we made some really tough plays during the course of the entire game. We were good rebounding the ball, and defensively, I thought we were very good against a team that's difficult to guard because of their interchangeable parts. So pleased with the win and looking forward to Monday night's game.
Coach Mooney, TJ Klein had 36 against Dayton in 2016, but it was an 85-84 game. I wonder how this compares given the score, 71-61. He had more than half your points tonight.
Good math. I remember that game well, John. And he was so aggressive that I don't think it was his first basket, but Grant threw him a long full court bounce pass, and it was an N1 dunk. And I thought that really gave him some confidence, because that's a big time play. It's a big time play by Grant, and a big time catch and finish by Tyler. I thought that gave him some confidence. And, in the first half, he missed a 3, and the very next possession in transition, he had a 3 and he took it and made it. And that's the mindset that he had. And I thought, again, he was there, there aren't enough words to describe him. He was just tremendous.
Could you see, I mean, that he's capable of it, but it takes something special to put a night like this together. Any foreshadowing that this was possible, this is coming, he's right there, he's real close?
Not necessarily. I think, my friends were down for last weekend, and they came to the shoot around, and they said, do you feel good because everybody's making every shot? When we were at shoot around, they don't know that these guys who play Division I, they make every shot. They make so many shots. Before when they're practicing, and so I didn't necessarily. His approach is very consistent. He works very, very hard, but I wouldn't say that I necessarily noticed anything that different today. I can tell you that his teammates are, great with him and so happy for him. Which they should be. He's the best. He couldn't be a better kid. And so, So from that standpoint, everybody's thrilled for him, but he works hard and is consistent. And, tonight he had one of those nights that very few people are capable of.
They're clearly looking for him once they realized what kind of night he was having. Is that something that you have to tell them, or is it instinctive?
Yeah, I think Jacob and Grant, they really have a great feel for that kind of stuff. And Jacob's play at the end of the first half where he kind of made sure we had the last possession. Those are the kind of plays he's making all the time. He's calculated and can control the game so well. He only had 3 points, but I thought he controlled the game incredibly well.
Can you talk about the improved rebounding? I think in the last 6 or 7 games, you have won the battle of the boards more often than not, and that wasn't the case earlier in the year.
Yeah, early in the year. I appreciate you saying that. Well, I will say this, that we're older and we're not as small as we've been. Some of the teams that we've had here have been pretty small. And, part of that is we're sacrificing a little of that physical stature for movement and skillfulness and being able to play together. This particular team is not that small and experience. And then I think Tyler's an elite rebounder. And so I think he makes it so that could push us over. So yeah, that's a great number. That's a great number for any team, the rebounding advantage, especially for us. And to me, it's that combination. We're not that small. We're experienced, and Tyler is an elite rebounder.
Coach Mooney, there was an NBA scout here tonight, and there have been over this season to watch Tyler. I wonder what you hear from them and what you think in terms of his potential professionally.
Well, yeah, I think he can play in the NBA and ultimately will. And I think that, the first thing I would assume they left to look at is just the size and athleticism, to make sure you fit in to that very unique group. And he has that. And then his shot making is consistent. And I don't know necessarily for the season and all that, but when I watch him every day, it looks the same every day. His feet are the same every day. The ball goes, it's a high arcing shot. It's high arcing every time. So that's another one to check off. He's comfortable handling the ball and playing on the perimeter. So, given that he has such great athleticism and size and physical abilities, yeah, I think that he's going to make his way into the NBA. I don't know how that will look. There are about 10, 15 guys who are automatically in and play and part of everything. Everybody else is really fighting for it. Free agent guys, second round guys. So I don't know how that'll look, but I'm confident that he'll play in the NBA. And I think because of his makeup, he would have a chance to have a great career.
Thank you.
If I could ask a question about next week, the challenge of playing the same team twice in 3 days, which almost never happens.
Yeah. Yeah, really unusual. What John had asked me about it yesterday, and I said we're going to look into how the NBA teams handle, the back-to-backs that they play, and I don't know if we'll actually do something strategically that we haven't done. Would you play zone for the first time? I don't know if you'd actually do that, but it is a unique challenge. I don't think I've ever done it, especially not in a regular season, especially not 2 days apart. So unusual, but hopefully the postponements and those kinds of things are behind us. And if this is what we have to do to eliminate, but beyond the postponements, then great. We'll look forward to it.
4 games in 8 days is one of the biggest. Obviously, to win is a priority, but to stay healthy is right behind that.
For sure. And we're deep. I feel like Jai Bailey is closer every day. Connor Crabtree only had 1 day of practice, played a little bit tonight. But we need to utilize that depth this week. And so, again, easier said than done. When you're out there and you're in it, and you say, hey, why don't you substitute and get guys going? It's a little different when you're in it and the lead goes from 7 to 4, then you feel like, but we need to utilize that depth because it's a strength of ours. And I think it could help us.
Anything else, Coach?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great night.